Thank you for being here.
No problem.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So I reached out to Terrell because I wanted to have you on the podcast, especially after that last fight that you had with Dan Harina.
Yes, sir.
And then you were like, "Is it cool if Jared comes?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, well,
Yeah.
Three's a party. Or two is company. Three's a crowd. I don't know. Hey. Anyway, I'm down to clown. So
He's my
thank
guy.
you guys for coming down.
No problem, man. No problem. Always a pleasure and honor to be here.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So we're gonna kind of move multiple places with this conversation, but let's start with Terrell, if you don't mind first.
Absolutely.
The reason why I wanted to have you on this podcast, I've watched you fight now 3 or 4 times, and I don't necessarily try to make it a point to have amateurs on the show simply because they haven't taken that leap yet into the professional realm.
Right.
If there seems to be like an additional variable, I will have them, and you kind of fit that narrative, right?
Yeah.
And that narrative is, dude, you're a fucking cold motherfucker.
Thank
And
you.
I love watching you fight.
Thank you.
So before we talk about like individual fights, I want to ask you, what was it that attracted you to combat sports, and then how did you and Jared link up?
The simple answer to that one is like I feel like every young man always thinks about combat sports. I feel like when they first see it, so I feel like even when I was younger. But what got me into it is like just some hard times in life. I just started punching a bag at a gym, and then I think I started asking about a fight a long time, like 4 years ago. When did I text you?
Yeah, it was about 5 years ago.
5 years ago, I texted him, and then
Did you guys know each other prior?
no,
Not at
no,
all.
I just
In fact,
someone,
he sat in my inbox unread for a long time. Like
an
I
asshole.
didn't even see it. I didn't even see it, dude. Until, you know how you have the requests?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it was there. One day I popped it open, and then I answered him right away when I did open it. I remember that, and I was just like, "What's going on? What are you trying to do? What what kind of?"
So
what
you
are
just
trying
threw
to
a
get
feeler
into?
out there, like, hey, I'm
basically,
thinking about
basically.
training.
Yeah.
and even thinking of that now, I really appreciated him because like most guys would like let you in the gym and then like get you to pay, do the work on anything. Before I even went to the gym, he set out some rules like, "Hey, I need you to be at this weight. I need you to do this, and then we'll talk." I'm like,
Were you a little heavier than you are now?
yeah, absolutely.
I think a
was
significant
like,
amount, dude.
Yeah, I think I
you were
was like
big, dude.
325 or
You
something.
were a big dude.
Yeah,
Jesus. What do you weigh right now?
275.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so. Because you,
trying to keep it on the lighter side this time.
if you don't work out and you don't do anything, like what do you get to?
Oh, I could easily get up to like
350,
330 or something
330?
like that. Yeah.
Right now is about the heaviest I've ever been. I'm like 190. I don't.
You carry it well, dude.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I was gonna say.
absolutely.
I don't feel bad,
Right.
but you know what's interesting? I'm pretty sure I suffer from body dysmorphia
Oh,
because I spent so much of my life like cutting weight through wrestling and stuff like that, and I was always skinny, right?
It's probably
Yes.
a reality, yeah.
So summer's about to hit, and like I was looking at the mirror, and I was like, oh man, I don't like the way I look or whatever. My wife walks by, and she's like, you look great, but it's just like that internal thing. I'm like, yeah, but I don't like the way I look. So, but I love the way I feel.
right.
I
Absolutely.
sleep great. I've never been stronger. Like I feel amazing. So it's that weird. I don't know. Forgive me because this is
No, you're good.
deviation.
I like how you said feel
It's,
because I always go off feel.
I think when also when you age too, like it's like hard to kind of like look at the new you and realize like this is an accumulation of everything I've been through to now, and it's kind of like a lot of the stuff you haven't even mentally come to terms with yet, anyways. So it's kind of like trying to fit in your own narrative what you're supposed to look like at that point, but it's like a lot of us are just gonna be disappointed by things we've done in life leading up to that, like you said, like doing all the weight cutting and having an expectation to be skinny, like. And just being skinny in general, bro. I mean,
Well, being skinny or being healthy, right? Because I think
it's two different things.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, and then we'll get back to you.
No, go ahead.
One of the most attractive qualities that I find in women is confidence.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that
Absolutely.
confidence can be misguided at times and it can be spot on. But like she doesn't have to be the most gorgeous woman or the most endowed or anything like that.
No.
If she walks in and she's like confident and she owns it and whatever, I'm like, damn, who are you? And I would venture to say that would probably go the same way for women. I know we're all men here, so it's not necessarily a skewed sample
Hey,
size.
speak for yourself.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm a bigot.
Right.
But I'm sure if you asked women, like, do you like confident men or unconfident men, they will all tend to lean towards the confident side. So, like, if you don't like the way you look, I think it will directly correlate to a lower sense of confidence. I
Absolutely.
know it does for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? But if I was confident, even though I don't like the way I look, I bet I'll look better to people through my confidence.
No, 100%.
Does that make sense?
Definitely, dude.
No,
yeah.
that's
The way you carry yourself is 100% of everything. And I mean, that goes into everything, dude. Not just, like, it's just a whole life rule. You know what I'm saying? Like, life rule in general. Like, you can get jobs off of your confidence. You can get, I mean, I've landed jobs I wasn't supposed to get because of my confidence. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the way, you can win fights off your confidence.
I agree.
No, I mean, it's just the way it is, dude.
100%.
If you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to win a fight, dude. There's just you can't. I mean, how are you going to will yourself through those hard parts of the fight if you don't believe in yourself?
This is like some gym speech right now. This is some shit he be saying on the regular.
CoachCarter.com all day. Chad said it best. Jared, when do you ever stop coaching? And I said, you know what? I probably don't. But I probably should. I probably should someday.
I don't know. I think if you can transcend something that, if you can prevent something from feeling like a job or like you're turning it on, then that is who you are.
Right.
And I think that's the best way to be. Does that make sense? So like I don't have to act confident at work because I'm confident in everything else that I do. I don't have to like pretend like I'm confident or something.
Right, absolutely.
Imagine if you're like a lawyer. What are you going to do? Fucking pretend like you know law? Like, no, you're going to kind of...
Some of the lawyers oh, my
Some of the lawyers are not good.
Fake it till you make it, right?
The oversized suit guy that shows up. Like, shit.
Just wanted to take a second to pause the action and just tell you guys, thank you so much for consuming our content. Easy Talk is a passion project. This podcast is just a bunch of like-minded people coming together to produce some cool stuff and talk to some cool people. One of the things I would very much appreciate is if you could possibly like the video or subscribe to the channel, just because it helps us in the algorithm and ultimately to grow, to get more exposure to everybody, including ourselves, and ultimately just make a better product. Take a second, I'd greatly appreciate it, and on with the show.
Well, I mean, fighting could also be a correlation, right? So it's like,
the
more you train, you stop feeling like I'm a fighter when I go to the gym, and you start feeling like you're a fighter at all times, because then you get more learned. You understand combat in its essence. So it's like, well, now this isn't just relegated to the gym. If I get into an altercation outside, I can take that skill set and it'll transcend the initial thing that I was doing. Yeah. So now I'm not a guy who trains fighting. I'm a fighter. And that's kind of like how it is with anything in life. So like if you're a coach and you spend 3-4 hours coaching and then you go home and you're a father, I mean, fatherhood's a lot like coaching. So it's like you're doing another 2-3 hours there before you go to bed. Well, now you're the thing you're doing most in the day after day, is coaching. Yeah. So like that's now who you are. So when you say something like, do I ever stop coaching? You probably don't.
Yeah, well, Chad Mueller actually said that at the last stand-up because he heard me talking to my son, my youngest son. But and it kind of hit me. I was like, dude, maybe I really don't stop coaching ever. And maybe I should to my son sometimes. Like maybe I need to be dad when it's time to be dad and not go to coach mode with him sometimes. Because I think like sometimes I feel like if you like that with a kid, like they're just gonna look at you as like they know that that's your dad, but at the same time, dude, it's like it's a hard dynamic being a coach and a dad with two boys, especially just because like there's so much that you need to teach them as a man, like father role, but the coach sort of feels that, but not all the way. You know what I'm saying? Never will. It's just like, and I don't know where I'm trying to get at with that, but I just felt weird when he said that to me. I was kind of like,
he meant it as a compliment.
He did, but to me, I was like, dude, you know what? I sound like a fucking coach all the time. You know,
I will say that
I'm not supposed to swear, am I?
You can.
Okay.
I will say that I see the boys and they respect him as both a father and a coach.
It's just though, like in my mind, dude, it's like I always am gonna be like, God, am I doing the right thing? God, is like this is the right decision? God.
Yeah, but that's like sounds like good parenting to me.
I mean, in a sense, dude, I had really great parents, bro. Like they were both like gave me like probably way too much freedom, and I just abused it. But long story short, man, I mean, I think I learned a lot of the skills from them, but I have to develop my own too because we're dealing with a different world, different kids, different personalities, dude. I mean, it's like to see two different personalities that came from you is crazy. It's crazy.
Within me are two wolves, both of them fucking sick.
Right. I was about to say, I see
waiting for me to get weak. They're just waiting for me to get weak.
Well,
I had to bust in the room once and test him. I was like, "You think you can wrestle? Let's wrestle!" And I just started fucking around.
My dad would have done that to me when I was in high school.
I was just fucking around.
He wouldn't be alive
today.
Same. That brings up and forgive me, we'll get back to you, Terrell.
No,
that
you're
also
good.
brings
Yeah,
up
my
a good
bad, bro. I
point.
was just like,
No, you're good. This is why I wanted you here. We're good.
You're like, so I don't have to say anything.
By the way, do you have children?
Yes.
Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
so girl, boy. How many?
Girl and boy twins.
Oh, so you have, oh, okay, nice. So like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was little, I used to think that like the adults in the room were like this like all-knowing thing, right? Like
Yeah.
they know what they're doing, they're in charge. Now, as I'm 32 years old, I have a 2.5-year-old, and I realize like, no, dude, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're just kind of
Right.
like stumbling upon this and
Yes,
trying to do our
yes.
best. And I think that the limiting factor or the variable that distinguishes a good parent from a bad parent is caring.
Yeah.
100%.
If you care, like, am I doubting myself? Like, okay, I did this. Could I have done something different? I think the ones that think, I'm going to just do something and then they kind of walk away from that,
Yeah.
that's it. I'm like, oh, dude, that's kind of dark. Like, are you not thinking about how your kid feels and could I have worded this a little differently? Was I too disciplinary?
That's like one of the main things I think as they get older and the more of a vocabulary and understanding about life that you got to be careful with your words.
Yes.
And like choose them carefully because, dude, people are sensitive and your kids are fucking sensitive too, dude.
Well, you're also,
and so am I. Like
but
the
you're also
father is
their
sensitive
parent.
also. Yeah.
Your words will
Right.
forever have much more weight than anybody else's words.
That's real,
The
yeah.
father saying, "I'm
Yes.
proud of you." You
Yep.
could have 100 people
Dude,
say, "I'm proud
that
of you,
means
buddy."
so much, dude, when your dad says
Yes.
proud of you.
Yes,
It's
right?
so
Why
fucking
though? But where does that stem from? Because that is your dad. That's like,
Yeah.
that's the guy, that's your Superman, that's your superhero. That was the one that protected you when you were little. So when you're 18, 19, 20, you get the proud of you, boy, or like, good job, son. It's like, oh, fuck yeah. Like, I did something right. I'm being recognized by my old man. Like,
Right.
it means,
Yep.
and by the way, it could be your mother. Like, I think you are correct in understanding the weight of our words, but then also, I don't think enough parents like respect that.
Their own words or
Their
respect
own words to their kids.
Right.
The way they speak to
Right,
their
yeah.
kids.
True,
Tone, reflection, empathy, sympathy, all these other things. I mean,
You want to hear some crazy shit? Go to the grocery store in Overland. Just listen to the way these people talk to their kids.
Overland
like
County?
everybody. Everybody yelling at everybody. It's a chaos, dude.
do you think that's a...
Dude.
I'm just
man,
playing.
that's
That
an
was a
onion,
joke.
but do you think that's a reflection of what? Just, I think it
It's
all...
just a reflection of the parenting, dude.
Well, I think
how the kid is.
Okay, fair. But then, like, the reflection of the parenting, I think, directly stems from economics. I think every problem...
Oh, yeah.
I think
every
that
problem-
yes,
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
social problems happen because of the economic.
I bet you I could solve 99% of people's problems with more money.
Yeah.
100%.
99%.
You're not wrong, dude.
Outside of health and
100%.
love, I can solve 99% of your problems with more money.
It just it sucks because people will argue that just because like they'll have like that 10 out of 100 people be like, well, these people are fine, but it's like okay, but you're not thinking of the 100 that live there.
Yeah.
So it's yeah,
A vibrant
And
middle
I don't
class.
think anybody really knows that until they're actually there.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like
100%.
at
What,
a
in
certain.
urban communities?
I don't. Not even urban, dude. Just maybe lower income or just medium
So, like,
income or
it could be
middle.
rural America.
Just-
yeah.
Right.
Just probably
Rural,
like,
you're gonna get the same problems like
Yeah.
in the sticks too that
Yeah.
you get
Right.
here, dude. I mean, it's
Just
the
probably
same.
just that little section of like people don't go. You don't go to that little section. I've been to that little section, and you're trying to tell me how that little section is
because you were there.
working.
It's
Yeah,
like how
you
you
know
gonna
what
tell
I
me
mean?
how it was because I was there.
Yeah, and then when you go to like places like that and you learn about it, then you start thinking like, man, I really don't know about that section in life. You know what I'm saying?
I think that a lot of times people try to take what it is that they know to be
Yeah.
true and reflect it upon others.
Yes.
And
A
I
lot.
think perspective is the most difficult thing to learn because you do have to live it to understand it. You can
Exactly.
tell me about your childhood, and I could tell you about my childhood, but then when you reflect on your childhood yourself, it is so much more vibrant, so much more vivid, so much more pure because you lived it. So I think that's why the way we kind of, not to get like political, but the way we have representatives makes sense to me, right? It's like from
Yeah.
this district representing these people who should be your neighbors because you live in that neighborhood and you represent them and their best interests and everything like that. It
Yes.
makes sense, our system of government, right? Now, when you extrapolate that to like a federal, I think it becomes harder and harder because it's a lot easier to be like,
The wider you go
older
with
and-
it, the harder it becomes to control.
Exactly. Like, the more macro, the more you get kind of, you lose some of that nuance.
I think that when the idea was created, they didn't really expect for it to blow up as much as it did.
the federal government?
And for people to
yeah.
just like, I didn't think that they expected this type of populace. You know what I mean? Like they didn't know that there's going to be this many people when they developed this.
This many different people.
Different
too.
people, correct?
I
They
think,
had these rules for certain people, that were allowed to at the time. I'm saying like the system in itself was here for a certain amount of people. Now there's just so many people that all have different, views and different, experiences to get to where they are. that it's harder to control when you have that. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, and I think what's happening in real time is our generation, millennials, and then the generation before or after us, like the younger kids, crowd, not kids, forgive me. I think they're fundamentally becoming more and more learned about politics, finance. You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
The amount of
This is what they needed, though. This is what we need to survive as a
we have
culture.
to keep these people honest.
Yes.
We have to keep these people honest.
Yes.
And by the way, if you notice, I'm not saying red, blue. I'm talking about collective.
Right. It's just people, right?
Well, yeah.
People.
I mean, when you get to the federal level, the only way these laws can pass is if there's some consensus among the aisle. So it's like, you know, we can pass budgets to bomb brown people halfway across the world, but we can't do any sort of education reform, or we can't necessarily get healthcare to a place where it's like sustainable for like a vibrant middle class. It's like, dude, people like live and die based on whether or not they have health insurance.
Yeah.
And the whole infrastructure for health insurance seems to be grossly negligent. So it's just like, you know, I like that people are getting more politically, not necessarily savvy, but educated. And I'm seeing politicians who should be public servants. It's in the title. You are serving the public, not yourself, right? They're being held accountable. And I think there's like a little bit of like a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Forgive me because we went down a bit of a rabbit hole.
No, you're fine.
We're good.
I do want to take this back to you because when you first reached out to him, you were talking about how he didn't just let you come into the gym, that there were some prerequisites. And he's like, hey, I'm going to need you to at least be this weight. I'm going to need you to come in at this time, what have you. Can you elaborate why that meant so much to you?
Because I feel like some people just take you in and like they just like, I don't want to say they just want your money. I don't want to hold that. They do, but I don't want to hold
You
that
can tell
against.
when a gym wants your money.
Exactly.
Like, pretty quickly.
I don't want to hold that against them because people got bills. People got, you know, they got to keep their gym running, so they need people in. And when they figure out, I'm sure there were some people, gym owners that figured people out and then like, okay, now I can invest in him. But it's like,
Yeah.
he wanted to see.
there is that, yeah.
Jared, I feel like just wanted to see if you would invest in you before I invest in you.
Is that what you were trying
There
to do?
has to be a level of care for yourself in order for you to want to compete at any level in anything. If you don't care about yourself, you're not going to give yourself 100% of the best that you can give yourself, dude. I mean, I hate to watch people quit on themselves, dude, 100%.
Or
Like,
at the very least, if they're not willing to commit a little bit of effort now.
A little.
What is that gonna
And
say
I've
about them
had
down
conversations with my own kids about this very thing. And since I'm in charge of so many other people's kids, dude, I mean, there has to be some sort of like requirement as a man, woman, whatever, to for yourself to want to do better, dude. I mean, if you don't want to do better just a little bit, I don't want to fucking see you in my gym. Like, why would I want someone who doesn't want to do better, you know, or is not even open to it,
Well,
you know?
if that mentality's not there, and I know you guys probably can resonate with this, a gym is also an aggregate of the people that they bring in and the energy that they bring in.
Yes.
If you got some negative Nancy motherfucker coming in and you got like this vibrant family-like community and this guy comes in and
That actually happened recently.
Oh, really?
And I'm not gonna say a name just because I already outed them on
bad culture.
F book. I was a dick about it, obviously already. But I mean, the person came in and I already knew they weren't gonna work out, but I gave them the chance anyways. And I even told them like several times. I was like, "Look, this is the way it is. This is the way it's gonna be." And I said, "Hey, if you don't like it, you can leave."
Yeah.
And so he didn't show up for like a week, and so I hit him up. I'm like, "Hey man, you good? Is everything cool?" And he's like, "Why are you being weird?" I'm like, "What you mean, me being weird?" I was like, "You paid me, so I'm checking in on you to see if you're okay." You know, and then it just got out of control from there, man. And anyways,
Was it a fighter? Was it?
yeah,
like
it
someone
was
just
it was
coming
it was a
in?
guy that just trained.
Gotcha.
Been to every gym in the city.
Gotcha.
Got kicked out of every gym there is. You know what I'm saying? I just took him in and was like,
Try to give him a
I gave him a chance, man, and I am the guy that gives people chances. Everybody freaking knows that by now. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying I'm like a charity case, but like if you come to me and you look like and you can convince me you really want to try, let's try it. So I gave him a chance and it didn't work out. Shame on me. You know what I'm saying? So
But you got to be really prepared to try because Jared is like, you're gonna like you're paying me. You're gonna do this. Like,
these people are paying me to do something for them, and then when they don't do something, I kind of have to like do reverse psychology and be like, dude, you paid me for this.
Do you feel kind of like I want to be careful how I ask this question. do you feel like you're trying to justify the transaction with the most amount of effort that you can give and try to bring
Yeah,
the
and that's
effort
just
out
kind of
them?
my personal flaw too.
Well, let me expand on the question. Let me expand on the
Go
question
ahead, go
because
ahead.
I'm sure you've heard sometimes in like the gym communities like, oh, like he didn't really coach me that well, or he didn't really know what he was doing. But here's
100%.
the caveat could be, well, you came in and you weren't even giving any effort, and
Yeah.
you didn't look like you were interested, so
Yes.
I wasn't interested in you. So goes back to the question of like, do you feel like in a lot of ways, even if the individual might not necessarily understand what it is that they're undertaking, you're trying to bring that out of them so that at the very least that person can say, hey, that motherfucker tried.
Yeah. I think that is basically where I'm getting at with why I word stuff the way I do, but at the same time, like, also, like, I don't think people know what they want to do day to day, let alone within a year. So, like, if I can get you to, like, give me some sort of, like, confirmation that you're going to do this and you're going to come here with 100% of yourself, dude, then we can do business.
I'm not the bully of the gym, but I'm also like
You're
I will
a
call
little
you
bit of a
out. Like
gatekeeper. Yeah, he's a little bit
I
of a
would
gatekeeper.
love to. I hate when guys try to call out Jared because like I see how much he puts into
the
people. Yeah, in the gym when I see how much he puts into people, and when people be like, "Oh, you didn't help me with this." Actually, I watched him try to help you with that, and you just didn't do it.
Meaning that they're not necessarily accountable for themselves.
Yes,
They're trying to use him as a
100%,
scapegoat.
100%.
Is this like what, fighters in like a camp or
I
something?
mean, you got
I mean,
fighters coming to
fitness,
gyms and going,
fighters,
"Hey, this
yeah.
coach didn't put me no effort." But my first question to them is always, "What did you do, though?
Yeah.
Did you put the effort in, or what did you do?" You know, there's always two sides to the story. You know, like if you come to me and say he did this to me, it's like, dude, I know how conflict works, and you did something too. You know, tell me what you did.
So when you first started, when you reached out to him to kind of take a step back, was it with the intention to compete? Was it with the intention to just learn martial arts and how to like properly defend yourself? What was that pull towards this?
When I first hit him up 5 years ago, I think it was just to compete, but also like there was that. Now that I look at it, it was like that anger of like, man, I just want to get in and hurt somebody. But then over the years, I grew up a lot. Now it was just like, get in the gym, have some fun. Like I was hitting the bag for a while. Then I started training with one of his old students and like, got to sparring and stuff. I'm like, man, this is fun. And then like, I hit Jared again because I think he posted something on Facebook like, hey, anyone want to come spar?
Yeah,
And
because
like,
I had like I think it was good timing because I think we were just coming back
Yeah.
with like the first iteration, dude. And then the reason why I think I remember why I didn't hit you up because I was in the hospital.
yeah,
I'm pretty
you're
sure
right.
that's why I didn't
Yeah.
hit you back up.
That's what you told me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's why I didn't hit you back up.
And he had a couple heavyweights, and I was like, I'm down. Like, I've been sparring, and, like, the guys weren't my size, so, like, it was nice to actually have guys to go with that were
Yeah,
my
it could
size.
hang. You could actually
Yes.
kind of unload a little bit.
Yes.
You've brought up now 3 times that it was something to do along the lines of anger, or like there was like something in you. Now, when I interacted with you from the first time to now, I never once got the sense of like a fire in you that was negative. In fact, I got nothing but positive vibes from you. You seem like a very stoic individual, happy-go-lucky, like the kind of guy that kind of amplifies a gym with good vibes and then great training, right? So like you are the body that people can work with physically, and then also outside of that, that mental acuity of like understanding what people might need to hear, or maybe being the guy who's like there for the guy during the weight cut or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm interested right now. Where was this anger before you started, and what was the catalyst for this?
Life just not going my way, and, like,
Money,
I guess, yeah,
love.
money, love, just I probably like just I failed a lot. I'm just gonna say that I failed a lot, and I'm probably still not okay with it, but I'm more okay with it because, like you said, I learned to be real stoic of like probably like 3 or 4 years ago, like right around sometime around there. I'm not gonna lie, I've been to rehab, I've been to jail, and like those experiences changed me. I'm sure I'm supposed to say like they were the worst times, but they were the best times because they were the worst times, because I had to learn a lot of my own mind and go even deeper spiritual of like, hey, do you want to keep this going for the rest of your life, or do we want to change? And I just decided, I don't know when I decided, I can't really pick it out, but I was like, I need to make a change.
A switch was flipped.
Yes, a switch was flipped.
So when you say that there was like some anger within you, it was anger not necessarily that you wanted to,
Yes.
you know, anger with extracurriculars. It was more internalized
Yes.
because of the way you were living your life.
Yes. For me doing so much wrong, and like there's no fixing it at the time, because it's like you already did. It's too late, buddy. Like there's no fixing it.
Do you mind if I probe a little more on this, or do you want to go off the topic?
You go for
Why the jail? Was it
drugs.
drugs?
Drugs.
You were doing them, selling them, around them,
both.
all of them? Yeah.
Both. I was a bad. I was,
How many
I
years
was
has
a
it
bad
been?
guy.
How many years
It's
has
been
it
a
been?
while. It's
Okay,
been a
go ahead.
while
You can say
now.
both.
It's been a while.
Way
It's
past
been
the
a
statute
while.
of limitations.
Was it a reflection of your surroundings, you think?
Yeah, because like I said, money problems, and then doing them. I didn't have to, but I did, and it was a mistake. And yeah, I don't do them no more.
No, forgive me, because I'm not trying to. The reason I'm inquiring is because I didn't know this about you. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a better sense of who you are as an individual. Because when I'm hearing this story, suddenly the person you are now does make more sense. Because when you see someone in their 30s, 40s, you think to yourself, okay, what were they like in their 20s? What were they like in their teens? Were they always this person, or did they develop into this person? And if they developed into this person, what were the circumstances that led to that? So for you, it sounds like stoicism that you carry yourself with now is a direct reflection of previous mistakes that you've learned from.
A lot of
Some
them.
more severe than others.
Yes.
Is there one piece of advice you would have given a younger version of yourself if you could today?
Breathe. Stay calm.
Chill out.
Chill out, and don't let it get to you right away. Think about it. Like I feel like that's one of my best assets now. It's like I won't let it like right then and there. I'll take the time and like.
That's just the martial arts, though.
Yes,
That's
that
just
too.
the martial arts talk.
100%.
That's that discipline that you learn from that, dude.
And like I just love that about myself now, that I'm able to like go through the worst situation. And even some guys will ask me like, aren't you going through this and this? I'm like, yeah. Like, how are you being so chill about it? I'm like, I have to.
Yeah.
I literally have to. Like, there's
When people start knowing you can knock people out, you gotta stop knocking people out. Like, you gotta stop that anger's gotta go. You can't be fighting on the streets no more. When you start doing it in the cage or in the ring, if I find out you're fighting on the streets, I'm up your bottom, bro. Like you might even get kicked off if I find out you fighting in the streets.
You've had
Only I could fight in the streets in this gym. I'm just playing.
I don't think I could ever get into a fist fight. Like,
Dude, like I just can't. I can't
I
bring
just don't
myself
see
to
us-
it. Even if someone tries me or tests me, I just can't go there, dude. It's just like, dude, like
yes.
I said
you
this
guys
once.
are in for something that you don't want to do, but I'm still just calm. I'm just calm, dude.
Yeah,
calm.
I said this once before on another podcast, but it's like I used to think of fighting as like this thing, because I'm a 5'8" guy. Like if push comes to shove, I need to know how to defend myself, because there's bigger and badder guys, right?
100%.
So, and I remember when I didn't know how to fight, when I was learning how to fight, I was like, okay, great. If anything ever happens, like I'll be able to defend
It's
myself.
never like
Now I'm like, dude, the second like tensions start to rise, or whatever, I just leave.
sleep.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, peace out. Like this ain't my vibe anymore. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
There's
I
a
think,
certain amount of violence that brings a lot of calm after, dude. And then with your career and his budding career, like you just lose the part of this is an aggressive thing. It becomes more of a beautiful thing, and a thing that you have control over is amazing. But if you don't, it's just chaos.
well,
man.
I think with age too, because I think the fact that I was getting older,
Patience.
you just stop looking at violence as a way to
get out of shit.
stop confrontation.
Right.
Yeah.
So like I used to think, if there is confrontation, I will use violence to remedy the situation.
Right.
Now you realize there are 16 different things I can do to
Yes,
not create confrontation,
yes.
so that I never have to get into violence.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I do think that there is a correlation, going back to the thing about confidence that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
My ability to not care so much about confrontation is directly correlated to the fact that I feel like I
Yes.
could defend myself. So now that I feel like I can defend myself, I'm a lot more calm about things because I'm not scared of what could possibly happen. I
Yes.
think a lot of times, especially when it comes to gun violence, the problem is the escalation because of fear. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if you have a gun.
A lot of these gun violence things, like if you see like how fast they go down,
Yeah.
there's no thought behind
It's
any
0
of
to
this.
100.
This
0 to
people
100.
are just act in the red zone when they get immediately angry in a fucking rage, and they just go to the gun immediately. And it's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. And there's a lot of gun violence unnecessarily out there right now, especially in St. Louis. It's just, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. I'm sick of seeing kids that are friends with some people I know, you know, that are dying, dude. It's just like, it's annoying to me. It makes me in a not even depression. I just like I'm just in
It's
a
stupid.
negative place, dude.
It's stupid.
100%.
When Tim Jackson was on, he told me the story about how he was hit.
Exactly.
In his
See how
femoral
fast
artery.
that. It's
I
just
told him, I was like,
fast.
bro, you
How
have
fast it
no
went down.
idea how lucky you are to be alive. And then when he told me the story about like the circumstances that led to the shooting happening, I was like, what? It
was
wasn't even
right.
like confrontation.
Right,
It
there was
just
nothing.
like-
It was just there, dude.
I don't have the answer, but I do agree with you when I think to myself like, I think I do have the answer, and that is a culture that makes life valuable, and not to get too religious and everything. I think that starts from like inception, like birth, like a society that believes that abortion is like increasingly acceptable will then start to like devalue the value of life overall, because like if you can't protect the babies, how are you going to protect the adults? I think it's like an upstream effect. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, you know, if you're like pro-choice or, you know, whatever, I'm not getting into that. What I am trying to say is like macro level, as a society, as we become more and more okay with like, well, these humans can die, and it's okay if this happens to this human, you start to become desensitized to the value of life.
Yep.
And I
It's
think
like that with words too, though. Like words and actions. Like both. The more you see stuff, you're gonna get desensitized. The more you hear a word, you're
Yeah.
desensitized. Like someone was trying to have a conversation with me the other day about a word, and I said I just don't say it because it's just not.
hard R.
Yeah. It's just not something. No, for real. I mean, I
No,
we should talk about
absolutely.
this.
You're in a very
If we're in a
prolific-
public setting
you have a
right
lot
now
of-
and I'm talking to you, like, let's have a conversation for real
Yeah.
that maybe someone else can hear and learn something from. Now, I, for 12 years, was in a gym full of black people. I said it a lot. They gave me what's called the pass. I don't want the pass. I don't want it. I said, this word will become offensive again if you don't give so many people the pass. If we don't give, oh, you're that, you can say that, but you can't. Like, doing that is what's perpetuating there being no meaning behind this word anymore, in my opinion.
Isn't that a good thing though? Like, don't you want to get
No,
to the
it's
point
not.
where well, hear me out on
It
this
is
one.
and it isn't.
Don't you want to get to the point where language is universal, therefore it's not derogatory because it loses that sense of derogatory? Okay, I'll give you an example. If someone calls me a cracker,
Right.
I don't care. Now, the next logical argument will be like, well, the word cracker doesn't have the same connotation in historical context as that word has.
No.
Duly noted. But then my question to you is, how much time needs to pass to where we collectively feel like that word is no longer a reflection of the negativity? It is just a word. Is it 500 years from
It's
now?
like-
Is it 1,000? Like how many years need to go by before we're like, 200 years from now, are we still scared to whisper?
Well, this is what I think it is, and I'll let him answer this more.
Yeah.
But, dude, I mean, if somebody creates a word to demean my people and to subcategorize them as less, anytime, no matter how many time has passed, if you say that word in front of me, I'm going to get offended, dude. Like, I will, dude. It's
Why?
just like, I mean, maybe that's
why would
just
you
me
give
personally.
why would you give people that power over you?
That's what I'm saying is maybe that's just me personally, and maybe I am doing that, but at the same time, dude, that's just the way it is for me. Like, and that might not be that with everybody else, but like for me, dude, if you're gonna go out of your way as a people to create another word to segregate another person, dude, like that word that definitely deserves for me to feel something every time you say it.
I can agree, and forgive me, and then I can agree with what you're saying, while simultaneously disagree to your reaction. So,
Right.
I don't use certain words because it is a reflection of how I think other people will take it.
Yeah.
However, there is not a word someone can call me that'll make me go like, oh, I'm gonna get like worked up about this. I don't care.
I think you just really have good self-control.
Well,
dude.
I will.
Like,
No, it's not even about self-control. It's about power.
The way
I
you're
will-
perceiving it.
Yeah, I will never give someone the power to get me worked up like that.
I can see
Say
your
whatever
point
the
there.
fuck you want.
I
I
see your
don't
point
care. I don't care. Say it in whatever context you want.
So
Call me like
you
an
have,
Albanian,
the supreme
whatever.
control over yourself is like basically like you saying you're not winning with what you're saying to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I refuse to give someone else that power over me.
I like that.
nothing
man. I like
you
that.
can say
I
that'll
think
work
you
me
just
up that
taught
way.
me something that I can work on today.
Now-
Because if someone says something to me, dude, I'm the first person to just get so fucking.
And well, this is where I'm trying to go with this conversation. and so, like, my thing is like, I can understand why African Americans would not like it if like a white person said a hard R. I
Right.
get that. I'm not an African American, so this is also easy for me to say. But what
Yeah.
I am saying is, as a white, an Albanian guy, white
Right.
European,
You're not
guy,
even white, dude. I
there's-
mean, you're-
yeah, I know,
you're
right?
not
If I
even
hang
white.
out with white people, I'm
You're
not
not
white.
even white, right.
Yeah. But there's not a word that I would give someone beholdens over me to like work me that way. And I would like to think that if we ever got to a point societally where we all kind of agree that all this shit is stupid anyway, like then language both has power, it has immense power, but only the power we give it.
Yeah.
Only the power we give it.
I think these days, though, I'm feeling like people are getting more offended than they were.
I think it's changing though. I think it's changing though.
Yeah.
I think there was a
it's
moment
like-
there where like
Where it
there
may
was,
have
like,
gone to
some
the
word
to the red
police.
zone with that
Well,
at
here's the
some
thing,
point.
and it goes. What's the natural conclusion? If there are certain words we can't use because of certain connotations, well, then you're opening up the floodgates for like this could escalate. Like, okay, let's say I was offended by the word cracker.
Right.
Okay, now I'm getting to the point where I'm not only giving you the power to get me worked up
Right.
and get me hurt emotionally, you know, but now I'm going to start to change the way we can speak forcefully. Here's a prime example. There's no law that says I can't say hard R.
Right, there's not.
So why don't I say it?
You do it for the respect of the people.
Out of respect for the people. Why? Because that is a word that is charged for them. And if certain people use that word, they'll get like worked up about it. Now,
sure.
if let's say the roles were like reversed and the hard R didn't mean anything to black people, okay? You want to know how much I would use that word?
Probably zero, right?
Why?
There's just be no reason to use it at all.
Why? I wouldn't even think about it.
You're just taking away, right? You're just taking away.
It has no meaning. Like
the
it has
meaning
no.
of it, right?
It has no power. It's just another word in the lexicon, and I'll probably use a better word to describe you. I wouldn't call you. What's like a derogatory word for Asian? Chink.
Chink? Yeah.
Chink. Okay. What have you ever heard
sound
me?
it makes when you drop a wrench in the garage.
So I can say that word, right? I can say that word to you, right?
to me, dude, because I'm just like,
But have I ever?
No.
No. Why? Because it's not even a word I really like.
Right.
You're Asian.
why would you use it, right? It just doesn't make sense for you to bring that word into it.
Now, if the only time I use a word like that is in a heated argument, it goes back to my initial thing of like, why would you, if I go chig, because I know it's going to offend you and hurt you,
Yeah.
why would you give me that power over you? Call me whatever you want. I don't
Right.
give a fuck. Now, as the resident only black guy in this room right now, is there any wisdom in any of this? Or are you guys like, shut the fuck up, boys? You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
For me personally, just from like, cause I'm a watcher and I like to be quiet. It's just I feel like it's between a culture thing and a history thing of like, it's not just a word that was used that like they abused them with verbally. It's like the physical aspects behind it, like people were
Yeah.
hung, people
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
killed, and then people were like, there's so much that people don't realize what happened behind that word getting used, because it started off as any race that was put down, it always started off as words of like they didn't understand at first how bad it could get. So like I understand as in like if you say bad words to me, I'll walk away. Jared knows I'll walk away.
He'll
real
just walk
quick.
out the room.
I was like, peace out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also as someone who watches a lot, I understand like it could lead somewhere when you give someone that little bit of leeway to like starts with a word, then it
Yeah.
starts with
action.
It's a
well,
slippery slope.
if you're gonna let me call your word, you're gonna let me destroy your home.
Right.
Oh, if you let me destroy your home, well, now I'm just gonna tear down.
You
your
just can't give
businesses.
anybody an inch because they'll take a mile with it. I mean,
Exactly.
that's just all it is.
I don't know if I agree with that in this year. In
don't think it's what it
2025,
is?
I don't know if I agree with that anymore.
That's fair.
When I was growing up, it was not cool to be racist.
No, not at all.
Like when I was,
there was
so I-
classes that we took, like
No,
back in the day of not.
I never took a single class.
Oh, okay.
This was after in high school, after in, public education. What I'm saying is like we had black kids that were busted from the city, and we had black kids that lived around us, and we had Bosnians and Albanians and Asians and whatever. And like there was always conflict as kids have, but it was like, and maybe this is isolated to me. This is like anecdotal, so and I acknowledge that.
Gotcha.
But when I was in school, if one of the guys was like openly racist, everyone collectively was like, "Yo, dude, not
Bro,
fucking
stop,
cool.
right, yeah,
not
exactly.
cool." So like when I was growing up, I just assumed that was like everybody else. And when I got to college, I didn't really interact with people too much. And then university is completely different because it's
Hella
not really a
different. Super
social
different.
thing as much as it is an educational thing.
Absolutely.
But then when I got done with school, and then certain political waves were happening, and like a lot of these pushes to like really educate people on race and all this other stuff, I always was like, wasn't the goal to become like colorblind? Like, isn't that the goal? So like, you're black and you're Asian and
That's
I'm white.
really
we can
funny.
sit down.
Like, this
and
morning
it's
I
all
had
good.
a conversation with a dude. It was like, and he just like, I don't know why he hit me up, dude, but we started talking and like it ended up being like, he was asking me like about how I see people in there, and I just said like, dude, like everybody looks the same to me in there, bro. Like I can't tell a difference, dude. The only thing that separates you guys in there is just different skills and like the name, like obviously if it's a man, it's a man, it's a woman, a woman, but dude, like colors
is
in
a
there,
woman?
dude, I never when they're in my gym, dude, it's just like everybody's the same, bro. I just feel like I don't
I think
see.
it's the proper way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I will also add one more caveat to this. Do you think by owning the word that used to be derogatory, it actually empowers the culture? Because it was a word that used to be used as like from top down, right? Now, it's kind of like an empowered word that can be used amongst people in your communities, but not the external. So it's actually, in a way, an empowering word now for you. You can call another black man.
I think it's a term of
You
endearment.
probably don't use the hard R that much, to be honest with you. Probably like the GA, right? But I guess what I'm trying to say is like you can now use that with like affection or reverence, or that's my, you know what I mean? And it kind of empowers the culture. Or do you think there's no value to that?
I think with any culture, where something burns a culture, I think that you gotta own it regardless. You know what I mean? Like when it's affected and shifted history, and like when like things happen that didn't have to happen, I think you just automatically like.
So you think it
that's
would've
gotta
happened no matter what?
it's that's a part. It's a part of our history. It's us. It's like. I wouldn't want to. I don't know. I probably could be explaining that wrong. I'm probably thinking too deeply about it, but like that's what I get.
I really don't think
that's
that's
what
such a thing, buddy.
Right.
I don't think
That's
there's
what
such a
I
thing.
get from like watching and trying to understand. It's like when bad things happen with certain things, it becomes a part of that culture. Just like the swastika sign's a peace sign somewhere overseas, but it became a bad thing over here. It's like, all right, now to us,
I think it's
who
Indian
owns that?
or something like that. It's
Yeah.
like a
Buddhism, yeah.
Yeah.
they use it and it's peace or
And
something.
they used it way before they did.
Well, symbolism is a little different than like language, right?
Yeah,
because
no,
symbolism
absolutely,
can
absolutely.
be kind of, you can have two separate people that have never interacted with one another, and they can
Yes.
kind of come up with a similar idea for a word or a symbol or some sort of picture that they're creating, where you can have a very similar, like the Celtic cross versus certain things, and they can mean wildly different
Yes,
things. That and
yes.
it's cultural, right?
Right.
I don't know. It's an interesting concept. I will also take another step though. It can also be viewed as like an ultimate form of endearment. Like he was talking about, like
It is, dude. I mean, like a lot of times I hear people use it is with the slap, embrace, back pat,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's it, bro. I mean, and sometimes people still do it to me, And I said, I don't say it. I just don't say it no more. I'm not going to say it. You'll never hear me say it again. I swear to God.
But here's the thing. Like, when you did say it, you used the...
I said it out of terms of endearment.
Yeah,
I said it because I thought I was like...
But
you know, it just made me feel like I was like with these guys. But
exactly where I was getting at.
like, and I'm with them anyway. They know I'm with them regardless, and I feel like I'm with them regardless anyway without saying it. And that's why I had to check myself with it to be like, I don't deserve to fucking say this word. I never have. Why am I saying it?
Well, you did for 12 years amongst...
Dude, like an idiot. Like I said it like a stupid... Like I
Jared,
feel dumb for saying.
Well, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second to extract.
Go ahead.
Extrapolate
Sorry.
what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, for 12 years, you were saying it in
Yes.
amongst these people.
Yeah.
And no one got up in arms about it.
Nah.
So what I'm trying to say is...
One time I got mad at Scott Fertrell and Byron. I did drop a hard R, and I thought they were going to fuck me up so bad. When Scott Fertrell looked at me like, what? And fucking Byron was sitting there like smiling, and I was like... They looked at me, and then they just started laughing. I was like, thank God.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, if I have...
When you got Scott Fertrell and Byron just looking at you, dude, that was scary, bro. I'm just going to say.
If you have a black friend, a white friend, an Asian friend, and let's say each one of these guys has like some word, okay? Chink, cracker,
Right.
hard R. If the black man extends the ability to use a certain word that should be offensive to someone outside of that group, that could be then seen as like this term of endearment. Hey, you're one of me. You might not look like me. You might not have the skin color or the culture or what have you, but over the course of time, the bond that we've shared, I don't care. That word no longer has negative connotation with you. That's what I was trying to get at, is like for 12 years, you were allowed... You were extended the card, quote unquote.
Yeah.
That's a form of endearment, right? You're not a part.
I think it
of
was
that
just
culture,
like a,
but you were
hey,
adopted into it.
Okay, you sir are okay with us type thing.
Yeah.
And it.
Now you can't say
hate
that
it.
with everybody.
No,
right?
no, you can't. And I hated it because now I hate it even more, dude. Because now I'm like just so much more like sensitive to things. I don't know what's going on with me, but like after my dad died, I just got so much more like. I'm different, dude. I'm fucking different, dude. My life's never gonna be the same.
Well, I don't think anyone would ever. Anybody that knows you, knows your history and all of that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could say that you're racist. All right, let's start with
No,
that.
and I
Let's start
mean,
with
dude,
that
I mean,
one.
I'm racist. Oh, I'm racist. If you don't have my order on time, I'm calling you up. I swear, I'm just playing. No, for real though. I mean, I really pride myself on not being racist. My mom, as a pastor, she did many trips to South Africa. To help and aid and during crises throughout her life, and I think like a lot of me like is because of that per se. So, I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't know. I would also go as far as to say there are many things that I do enjoy about like. There are many topics that are very controversial that I enjoy digging into because I do think, no, you're fine. I do think that communication, they say like sunlight is the greatest disinfectant.
Yeah.
I think so long as we have issues that are real and concrete, and then we feel like we cannot discuss them, like, okay, then how will they ever get better? That's why I go to the other question that I had is like, okay, well, I can't use that word today. How much time will there be until I can? Not me personally, but like white people. How much time has to elapse to where that loses its like negative connotation, or perhaps it's just a word that just doesn't even get put into anybody's lexicon because it's not a great word to describe.
And that's part of my reason why I stopped saying it, because it's just like I don't want it to be like if I keep saying it, then I perpetuate it even further. And to me, like by in order to rectify something or to correct something, and we can never take back any of the things that happened to the people at that time. We can't. And but we can do stuff to change it. And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to use it in any type of terms of endearment. I'm not going to I was insensitive before for using it, and I apologize for using it is what I'm saying. So.
Well, I wasn't holding you to the fire, but
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, to me, like, I just want to be, like, since we're talking, I mean, I'm saying it's just not me. I'm not going to say it no more. So,
if you don't mind, I'd like to take a little bit of a detour. Before the last NFA fight, I did this like little thing where I was just like, because I wanted to help the people out with some sales and tickets and all that stuff. I was like, hey, I'm going to be at the event. I'm really looking forward to it. Your fight with Dan Harinia was like my dark horse fight where I was like, if you guys don't know what this fight is going to be, get fucking ready. And it definitely lived up to that, right?
Yeah.
Amazing back and forth. you ultimately got the finish. Can you walk me through not just that fight, but the way you fight seems to be with like brazen disregard for your own health. And that is very difficult to do. It takes a lot of balls, right? Like, let's be honest. Have you always had that? Did you learn that through training? Is it the kind of guy you've always been? I'm curious how you have this, because I've seen you fight 3 times now, and all 3 of those times I'm like, God damn.
Like this mother, right?
Yeah,
exactly,
well, he can take it and he can dish it, right? And that's why you're like becoming one of my fan favorite. Like, I'm a fan, and you're my favorite, right?
I mean, his style is very entertaining for anyone.
Oh my God,
anyone
dude.
who sees him fight is an immediate fan.
If he's fighting on a card, I'm buying a ticket.
Yeah.
You're worth the.
Stop
He's like, hey, you got lipstick all over me.
I'm upset about that, dude. I mean, I think that's great.
But I'm curious, like, when you're going out there to fight, what's the mentality? Are you trying to be the most technical? Are you like, I'm going to take this guy to deep waters and we're going to see his soul? Like, what is your mentality?
Hurt him. I hurt him as bad as possible. And like you said, I don't care how much.
Right, that's some
I
crazy
don't
to hurt him.
care how much I gotta get hurt to hurt you.
Dead.
Like, it's just like, you're gonna hurt. I don't know if that's true, but I fully believe in my mind. And I haven't heard no one walk up to me and say, "Dude, you are hit hard as hell and you're crazy." So it's like, and I think low key I have lived like that without knowing it. Now the only difference is now that I know it. That back then the craziness, and you know, when you're young you just don't care, or maybe you did care, but I guess I like just certain situations I put myself in. I look back now, I'm like, wow, probably could have cared a little bit more about my own life.
Do you not factor in winning? When I ask you, like, what are you thinking? You said hurt him. That is irrespective of the outcome.
I'll interject. At my gym, dude, if you're not fucking going in there to win, you're not going in the cage.
Yeah.
You're not going in the ring. I don't want you going in there to see if you like this or to see how you're going to be after this. That is something you need to do on your fucking own without me. If you're representing this fucking logo anymore, I want the best. I want people to... You can't be in my room if you're not trying to win, bro. We're in the business of winning. People don't want to go to the losing gym. You know what I'm saying? Are you for real? Like, who wants to go to the losing gym, bro?
Okay, but then let me add a caveat to that. Like, he's an exciting fighter, right? Don't you think that's like, let's say he has an exciting fight and loses the next 4 fights, but they're all exciting. Barn burners, maybe all split decision losses. I would venture to say that even though he lost, the way he represents himself in the cage is equally as important to the outcome.
100%.
Yeah, but I would say this is why,
Because it's a fight. It's not always going to go our way.
Yeah, absolutely. But I would say this is why I have Jared, and this is why I trust Jared so much. This is why I brought him here.
I mean, there's been times where it's been
You didn't
moments...
trust me?
No. I trust you. But I'm saying, like,
we thought we were gonna get jumped, bro. I was like, oh,
everything you said is true about me, but everything that I need to be true about me, I trust him to tell me, like, hey, you know we're in there to win. I'm like, absolutely. Hey, you know I need you to do this and this when I tell you. I'm like, absolutely. So it's like
it kind of keeps you in line.
Now, it's a very, very good. The dynamic between me and Terrell is good because I know if I say something, I'll get it. I know that if I say, yo, let's try to just like get in a little closer. If I say something between rounds, I know it's going to happen the next round. It's just a matter of time. I know that he can, on the fly, do things as well. We've experimented with that many times. He's his last fight, and he was just a little bit rocked, but he did a very good job at composing himself and continuing to fight intelligently while being rocked. And to me, dude, that just shows how much better he's getting.
That's a fighter.
Yeah, he's becoming a fighter now. You know what I'm saying? Like a fighter, not just the picture he had in his head. Now this is.
Well, it's easy to look good when you're hitting the heavy bag, but it's hard when the heavy bag starts hitting back.
For real, yep, 100%.
You are talking about how the reason you trust him so much and all that. How was that trust formed? Like, how is it that he is able to keep you in line? Why do you believe in what he says so much?
Probably the worst excuse ever. He hates the way I fight.
What?
But I
love the way he fights.
Every
But I
time
know
he goes in there, it's just a little bit of him trying to just like say, "Hey, coach, I made it again, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I made it through again, doing what I do." I think a lot of it is that, but I love that though. I mean, I love that about him. I love, and you tell it, bro. Why do you
Yeah,
do it?
I just like he hates the way I fight, so I know, and he tells me this all the time. So I know he's looking for when we're training, when we're drilling, and when he's really getting after me. I know he wants the best for me, and like you just like that's just like you said, that's our best dynamic. Is like yeah, I have a different mindset, and like yeah, I always want to dog it out, but at the same time, it's like I also understand that like. You're in this game for much more. He reminds me you're in this game for much more than that. And I want more in that for you. And then when I see how passionate he is about that, I'm like, okay, yeah.
So
well,
it's
I
a
want that too now.
It's a reflection of you feel like he cares.
Yes,
It goes back to the fatherhood thing.
yes.
It does.
Not that he's like your dad, but like, what is a good coach? A good coach could also be like referred to as like, you know, a good father figure, or whatever. How many kids don't know their dads, and like they look at a coach as like a father
though that
figure.
like, dude, at the end of the day, a lot of people are like, "Oh, coach was like my second," but they really are, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
there's times when I know I'm the only fucking person that kid can talk to,
Yeah.
and I want to cry right now because like it fucking I feel it, bro. Like, I gotta stop. I don't want to
good,
cry
though.
on camera, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to. I cry on camera, bro.
No,
But it hurts me, dude. Like my heart to know that I'm the only one that this kid can talk to.
Yeah, but it should be a good thing too, because at least they have you.
No, it is. And I told my girl, I said, now I'm going to go to the gym like I always do. And I'm going to have to pretend like I'm okay around a bunch of people who are not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what it is, you know? Sorry, man. Fuck.
No,
No,
you're good.
no, I
You're
love
good.
it. You don't have to
I
apologize.
was really trying not to do this shit. Dude.
No.
I stopped myself last time from doing it. And this time it just fucking fuck.
Listen. I'll be the first person to tell
Sorry,
you.
dude.
No, I cried too as a coach. I love the kids.
We
that
just
I
care,
coach.
bro. I mean, it's just like I can't not get emotional about this, dude. This is my livelihood. It's their livelihoods eventually. It's fucking all the things that they're learning along the way outside of fighting. It's just everything, bro. Like it's the last 22 years of my life, dude, has been just this shit, dude. It's crazy. Yeah, it's just like I can't. Like it doesn't hurt me, dude. It makes me feel happy, and that's why the tears are here, dude. It's just like it's been a lot of work, man. You know.
And I also want to put this out there. I'm not saying I have the best coach. I'm saying I have the best coach for me.
Yeah.
Even if he is,
and I'm not the best coach for everybody, dude. My style will not.
Yes.
You got to be prepared to do a lot of things, and it's like, but at the same time, the people who I have managed to get in, and this goes to saying just like as far as a dynasty and a legacy, dude. Like can count with 3 fingers 3 people who have left my gym, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty good for being open 12 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and all the people who have left have tried to come back at some point.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I'm doing things right in a world where it would be easy for someone to say that I'm doing things wrong. But it took a lot of losses for me to get to this point to where I'm fucking like, I know what needs to be done. I know what's possible. I know what we can do, and I know how to do it right now. So
You guys sound very similar.
yeah.
You notice that?
Yeah. In a way, I think I'm attracting people who lived a little bit of a struggle and are now coming out
Brother,
of it.
it's a reflection of the sport. I say this all the
Yeah,
time.
I mean, it really is, dude. It
Fighting
really is.
doesn't bring about the affluent and the intelligent and all this. Listen, we're all a little fucked up.
We're a little lucky, too,
Yeah,
right?
dude. I was. It takes a special kind of person to get into a ring and say like, let's fucking go. And if you knock me out of my consciousness, good job. But I'm trying to knock you out of yours. Tell me what kind of what average person is like, yeah, let's do that. No, so you acknowledge that we're a little fucked up. We acknowledge that we're a little broken in some way, shape, or form. But it doesn't mean or doesn't diminish us. It's just it is what it is. So I think there's a correlation to a lifestyle or a people that will then gravitate towards combat sports versus why didn't you get into golf? Why didn't you get into badminton or fucking tennis or whatever?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like the stars weren't aligned in that way. That's not where you gravitated towards because of your childhood, this, that, or the other. Why'd you get into combat sports? Probably a very similar story. You know what I mean?
It's always usually all of our stories are very similar, and it either has to do with the loss or the gain of something.
Yes. The only caveat to that are the kids of fighters.
Yeah.
So you might have
I'll use my kid as an example.
Yeah,
my
yeah.
youngest son is a very efficient boxer, and he's learning the other arts slowly, but he just I mean, I don't know where I was going with it.
he's he's someone to look out for the future.
Well, I guess
100%.
what I'm trying to, what I'm trying to do is I'll take a step back. Is like because it's not always that.
No, that's what I was going to say. Is that I never forced either of my kids to be in my gym. Like I had them at the gym. They grew up in the gym. They saw everybody doing their thing. They trained sometimes. I never forced it because I was never forced to do anything when I grew up. So I was just reflecting on, because you got to want to do something first before you stick to it. So I'm just letting them try to find things that they want to do. And, for this kid, it stuck. But, I mean, some people's kids, it won't. It's just like not. And for him, it's like that wasn't a forced thing. Like I said, it was just kind of more like if you want to, like, learn boxing today, let's come box. Or you want to learn some kickboxing, come kickbox. Stuff like that.
And they want it. And Jared sometimes had to tell him, like, time out. School first. School first.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. We've spent a lot of time now talking about a bunch of shit, to be honest with you. But I want to get back to you more specifically. Chad Mueller and Stand Up Fight Series did that heavyweight Grand Prix tournament where the guys fought twice in one night. Yep. And the only thing I could think about was how you were not in that tournament. So was that ever brought up to you?
Late.
Very, very late.
Yeah.
Late.
There was when I tell you I love my like fan base of like people who are not fighters but mostly appreciated like other coaches and fighters that like really mess with me that like hit me up like, yo, why are you not in the tournament? Why are you not in the tournament? I'm like, what tournament? I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I'm hitting up Jared. I'm like, Jared, what tournament?
So I
Is
know
it because it was more Muay Thai and you're not like a Muay Thai guy?
I mean, we don't care about that. We'll fight. It just the poster I feel like came out a little late. I feel like the promotion for it was there, but it wasn't necessarily for the tournament right away. I think they were trying to sell other points before that.
Well, yeah, I mean the tournament is a part of the card.
It was part of it.
It's not the card.
And then nobody told us. Like they already had all four names.
So basically, you guys weren't even like
we weren't even in the loop. They didn't even include us in this.
Okay.
We found out later because people were tagging him in the poster, being like, "Where's Terrell? Why isn't Terrell on here?" All that stuff. And I'm like, dude, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Let's take a step back because when you originally said like late, it made it sound like
it was late.
Oh,
we didn't know about it.
He came to you and asked if you wanted to be on it like 1 week before or something.
No, they did after I had inquired about it.
And then let me say this: nothing against Chad or like I don't want to. No,
that's not what we're saying.
Yes.
I'm trying to understand. And by the way, for what it's worth, I went to the show.
Yeah.
It was so far the best show of the year that I've watched. It was the best show of the year that I've watched.
Yes.
So Chad crushed it, and I'm very excited for his next card. I know some of the things he has working on, and I like that Chad's doing shows. I'm not trying to get into the nitty gritty of like how he runs his show. Right. I'm asking why you weren't a part of that.
Yes.
And it sounds like you weren't a part of that because you just weren't thought of at the time.
No, we weren't told. And then
would you have wanted to be? I'm assuming yes.
Yeah, we definitely did. Well, another of it is that we already committed to another fight, and I will not pull my guy if we already committed to another fight. I am honorable when I give my word to a promoter that they're going to get a product. That's what we give them, and I'm not pulling them for notes, whatever the cost is or whatever the belt or whatever. We gave them our word. We're on another show, so we couldn't do it.
If I hear this correctly, it's a combination of
a lot of
they didn't think about you. You guys had already committed to another event.
Yeah.
Once there were some rumblings about you, possibly, maybe, but then it was already set in stone.
I kind of like the way that happened though, because now we actually kind of like know
who the champ is.
Well, we know that. Well, here's the interesting thing that happens: the two people who may have been the ones that were favored to win did not. The MMA fighter, who is an MMA fighter and never kickboxed before, never Muay Thai, won the tournament.
Yeah.
Like, that's a interesting thing, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird, dude. To me, I hit him up immediately and I'm like, bro, the MMA fighter won.
Yeah.
Like, I was like surprised
100%.
by that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the tournament, to me, on paper, James Seltzer should have won it. Just based off of, like, experience, stuff like that.
Yeah, but, I mean, paper math for fighting. Like we said earlier,
It doesn't
there's, like,
always
anything-
compute, dude. It doesn't always compute, dude, ever. And it doesn't never make sense. So
The guy from Finney's looked like he would be like a pushover, and then knocked
Did he
out
knock the dude out?
He knocked the
Right.
dude out.
Well,
Well,
he was
in the first minute. You know what I mean? So but it goes back to why we love fighting. More specifically,
Oh,
why
yeah,
we love
absolutely.
heavyweights, because we know with any punch it can be over.
so many
It's
surprises.
the suspense, the anxiety, the moment.
So much crazy shit.
I'm not good at math, so you could be at 30 fights. I'm gonna try to knock your block off. That's all I'm saying.
Have you talked to Chad afterwards, like possibly getting him on the?
Oh,
next
yeah.
He's on the next card.
Okay.
He's supposed to
Fighting-
title contention or about one of the
Oh,
two.
okay, one of
you
the
know.
two. Okay, I was gonna say, like, are you fighting the champ or are you fighting like for a first contender?
That's all that man right
I mean,
there.
this dude's got. You got to think about this. He's got 4 wins streak, and then he just had that draw, which actually should have been a win, but I don't know why they had that draw.
Well,
that was
better
weird.
than a loss.
But that's why I say better than a loss. But so I feel like in any promotion he goes into, he probably should either title contention or something, dude. Give him some kind of belt. I mean, we're fighting for.
The argument can be made that 4-2 is not a big record.
It's not.
Okay,
It's
but
not.
then the argument could also be made that he's a fan-friendly guy.
Yep.
Right, and he comes to fight. So
They
it's
know what
like-
they're gonna get with him. A lot
Exactly.
of promoters approach me and say, "Hey, we like Terrell because we know what we're gonna get with him.
Yeah.
We know we're gonna get a guy who doesn't throws caution to the wind. He's gonna meet in the middle with whoever he fights, and they're gonna bang, and they're gonna bang until somebody's on the ground, dude. I mean, end of story.
Pause.
I mean, right? Whoa. Yes,
Awesome.
they're gonna bang at all
Let
costs.
him
bro.
bang, bro.
Just let him bang, bro.
And also, I want to make. I don't toot my own horn ever, but I want to make the argument like I've done this within a year.
Yeah.
Like no guys don't like. I've just
hasn't
noticed
been
guys.
doing it that long, dude.
Yeah,
I mean,
guys don't fight like
Well,
how
he's
I'm
been
fighting.
training for a couple of years, but you're talking
So
about like
he
you're fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, according to him, I mean, I know he was training some
Yeah. So,
before, but it wasn't to the effect of a camp or.
No, he's
Yeah.
been with you for 5 years, right? 4 or 5
no,
years.
no, 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 no.
That's when he first started talking to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've only been together a
trained
year.
in 2 years. It's been 2 years now.
2 years.
Now it's been 2
oh.
years,
Yeah.
You guys made it sound like you guys linked up 5 years ago.
No.
No, so I was training at JD's gym. I was doing privates with some of the guys up there, and I Freddie, I can't pronounce his last name.
Hustavarch.
Yes. Awesome dude. Awesome dude. Need a personal trainer in that area? Go to Freddie. But I was training him, and you got into my inbox around the same time, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then, dude, COVID happened, and then I
Bro,
got sick.
2021, 2022 is like you blink your eyes and the years went by. So crazy.
It was nuts, dude. I feel like we went to just some sort of weird time vortex,
Yeah.
and we're just never going to get it back, or we're never going to gain it, whatever. You know, when something happened.
I
there.
feel bad for the kids, to be honest with you. The kids that
Oh,
were in
dude,
school and
for
stuff
sure,
like that,
for
that
sure.
missed out on like sports and activities,
Absolutely.
didn't have a prom, what have you. It's like
100% why one of my
sons.
sons can't do the math right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, you think? You
oh,
think it
I'm
affected his-
directly,
yeah.
for sure. None of them were held accountable. Nobody cared if they were on the Zoom meeting. People were falling asleep on the Zoom meetings. Let's not get into that right now, dude. That's a whole nother
Bag of
can
worms. No.
Yeah, I don't want to go into that.
Forgive me for asking this because I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but what is the goal with fighting? Are you just doing this to have fun? Are you trying to go pro? Are you trying to make money? What is your ultimate goal with this?
I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to go pro. I'm trying to do as long as I can with his help of like keeping me straight, because as we've been talking about, like I obviously don't have like the best care in mind for when I'm in there. So like with Jared's help, I feel like I'm gonna be doing this for a while,
Yeah.
and I want to be doing it for a while, and I want to prove like I'm. I hate saying it, but I want to prove like I'm one of the best. Like probably not technical wise, but like I'm one of the best fighters. Like I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna fight, and you don't want to dog it out with me. Like I feel like I'll dog anybody any day.
I think that's the exact mentality you need to have. I always said that the reason I stopped fighting wasn't because I thought I couldn't do it. I just
Right.
knew I couldn't be the best. And for me, my goal was to be the best. So once like I knew I wasn't gonna be the best, I was like, okay, I'm out. And I think like, especially this sport, you can't have like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
No.
You
Yeah.
either want to be the best, or
Yes.
you want to be one of the best, or whatever it is that your goal is, and that's the
Yes.
goal you're trying to achieve, or you're not.
Yeah.
And you were talking earlier about like how when the people come in to compete for you, the goal is winning,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
obviously you have like a wide array of people. So like the goal for you might be winning.
Yeah.
But what is the goal for everybody in that gym? Is everyone trying to be the best in the world? Do you have some of the hobbyists? Do you have some of the fighters?
We have a really good mix of everybody.
Of everybody.
Yes.
Every man, woman type. I mean, we have people who are overnight nurses who come in a couple days a week just to hit. We got teachers that come in that are 48 and just try to learn some boxing. We got little kids, my own children. We got just a mix of people, man. I mean, it's a great environment up there. We build a community, and it's like, if anything, dude, if the world were to end tomorrow, I'd be fine with what I did. That's it.
And some of them probably don't know they want to be the best right now, but the way he trains us, and the
I
way
train these guys, dude,
yes.
like they're in a professional camp, dude. This
Yes.
is not joking around. We're not messing
have
around.
one
When you're on
speed.
my mat, dude, you're not. Yeah, I've got one.
Are you doing all the training? Like, are you the MMA coach? The
No,
boxing
I mean,
coach,
I work with everybody individually, obviously, but then there's certain things that I'll like. It just depends on the person and what they need, dude. I mean, I have a lot of coaches I use, like CJ Hunter and Austin Cornell. Both of them trained from St. Charles. Great gym. I've always had kind of like a little partnership with Mike ever since I opened up.
Rogers. Mike
Mike Rogers. And he was actually, without SCMMA, there wouldn't be MCS because he was really the first one to be like, these guys have something.
Yeah.
Like, and he then systematically tried to get some guys on the team. But I don't blame him, dude. I mean, he'll even tell you.
If you're producing a bunch of real fighters, I'm gonna try to poach the best.
Exactly. So it is what it is, dude, and I don't blame him for that. He's a great friend of mine to this day, but honestly, there really wouldn't be without that nod from him. I don't know if I would want to elevate more than that gave me. It gave me like a reason to be like, okay, this motherfucker, he's been around for this long. I really look up to this guy. Like, I know we're polar opposites, dude, but like his coaching, bro, if I could like get there, dude, then I made it. You know what I'm saying? To me, like, that's who I like. That level is who I aspire.
You think
to be.
Mike's the gold standard?
I think in this area, dude, he's proven the system time after time that system works, and I think it's the most proven system in this area, and maybe low key the Midwest, dude.
Yeah.
If you really think about how vast that Voggy system stretches.
Yeah.
Like, and I've done research into this, guys. Like, if people who want to say I don't know jiu-jitsu, I might not be able to submit you, but I will get out of a lot of shit before you submit me. So, end of story. Like, I'm just saying, dude, like, I'm not going to just let you, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did research vastly on systems, and I love the Voggy system. I always have. I've always had it in my gym, from Matt Ricehouse being a coach to Andrew Sanchez being a coach to now CJ and Austin. I mean, I've always had their system in my gym because it just goes well with my striking style that I teach. So it's like hand in hand, dude. We're having fighters now. They're going out there defending 5 of 5 takedowns.
Yeah.
We got guys that they're on their butt for a second and they're back up. We got guys reversing. Like, so the system, as far as coaching goes, like for them, dude, like that is the gold standard for me as far as MMA jiu-jitsu in this area.
I don't think anybody except for the Wolves Den guys like Andrew would disagree.
They're very good too, bro. I mean, I love Andrew
it's not
as well.
mutually exclusive. Like, you can be amazing, and then it's also an opinion.
We got to remember, dude, that these guys are doing great things for the people that are in their gym.
And
so it's like, prospectively, like, I can't say Andrew's doing a bad job either.
No, he's
done
doing
a great
amazing
job
as well.
Yeah.
Dude, listen, the Wolves Den, from where it was to where it is now,
They've
God
done a
bless.
great job, bro.
God bless.
A great job.
St. Charles MMA, for how long it's been here, to produce as many world-class athletes as it has.
It's
God
unheard
bless.
of, but it's good.
I think we were talking earlier about how I don't know if this was on the record or off the record, but one of the nice things is if Chad starts increasing the volume of the shows that he's doing, and Shamrock's been pretty consistent with the number of shows that they have, and if NFA can kind of get the ball rolling on doing more shows, I mean, you could have 4 to 5 shows a year from Chad, 4 to 5 shows a year from NFA, and then I know that Shamrock does the
That'd be
KC
great.
ones, but like 5 or 6 shows from Shamrock here in the area. Well, now you have 3 different promotions. If you're a fighter, you could kind of line them up. And this is going to be the next question I have for you, because the fights that I have seen you in have been exclusively kickboxing, right? But NFA is an MMA promotion predominantly. Shamrock FC, MMA promotion predominantly. Chad Mueller's is kickboxing, right? And I believe the only one outside of Ian Zarbos with the boxing promotion that he does, but that's slightly different, right? Or he also does kickboxing as well.
It's more of a mixed bag event.
Exactly. What is, you said that you want to be the best, right? Or at least be one of the best. And you said that you wanted to go pro. Exclusively with boxing, kickboxing,
Striking.
Yeah, predominantly?
But
have you ever flirted with MMA?
Yeah, because we got a ton of guys that do MMA, so obviously I'm a helper.
He
so I'm
wrestles in high school for
Yeah.
Melville, so he knows how to wrestle. So if I need a partner who's wrestle heavy, I'll get him to help. So I know he knows what to do.
But he didn't answer my question. Have you ever flirted with MMA?
Yeah. I was supposed to have an MMA
We
fight.
set one up and then just didn't end up doing it because of something else came up. I
Yeah.
can't remember what happened,
But we'll
Once again,
we'll
you
see
did
in the
not
fu-
answer my
we're-
question.
We'll see in the future. We'll see in the future.
So,
right now,
I
I
think
just
that-
you would entertain.
let's-
it.
I would entertain.
Let's
it.
get a kickboxing title before he goes
Yeah.
MMA. Let's say that.
Well, okay. Where do you gravitate? You said that you gravitate more towards the striking. Then.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
but you don't really ultimately.
It's his
care?
fault though. Why I love striking now. I just fell in
Well, I'm a
love
striking
with
coach. I mean, the gym is
Yeah.
predominantly like I have to
just-
bring in
Yeah,
grappling, which
Yeah.
is fine with me.
absolutely.
I know my ability is limited to teach some of the stuff, so I bring in people who know better, which everyone
That's a
should
good
do.
coach. That's a good coach.
Yeah, and I'm willing to admit that any day. CJ will submit me 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Austin will
there's
take
no
me down
one
9 out of 10
person that
times.
knows everything.
Correct. So
when I had Mike on,
but for a little minute, dude, like I had to almost like tell myself that for a minute when I was younger. Like
That
you
you
can't
know
do
everything?
everything. Stop
Oh,
doing
oh,
everything.
okay.
Don't do everything.
Right.
well,
Try to, find ways to train smarter,
when Mike was on last time, we discussed in length the reason why it feels like MMA gyms are so hard to maintain is because it requires such a depth of coaching staff, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you do a boxing gym, you can have a boxing coach and you're covered.
Yeah.
Like Eric Steenberg with
Yep.
ESMMA, like it says ESMMA on there, but let's be honest, like
There's a lot of other people there. Yeah, I know the other
but
coaches.
it's predominantly striking,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So it's like he fits that pretty well with like Kendall and Austin
Yeah.
because that's what he knows. So like those bases are covered. Now,
It's nice to watch Kendall come from nothing to where he's at
dude,
now.
talk about like a resurgence of that guy,
Yeah.
right? Because like there was like whenever I had him on the podcast, we were kind of discussing like his amateur career and like how it first started and then how it kind of ended towards the latter half, and now he's an undefeated pro, 1-0 or 2-0 now, 2-0, right? Yeah,
Yep.
2-0. Sorry, Kendall, 2-0. And by
he's done a
both
good
by
job
finish,
at
both by finish.
transitioning to a pro.
By the way, 2-0 in
level.
MMA,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So like that's the
Which
thing.
I mean, if you look at back, his MMA record is not the best.
No.
But it doesn't need to be the best to build as a pro.
Well, the thing is too is like if you're gonna lose, like that's when you want to do it as an amateur.
For
That's
sure,
why I was,
yeah,
That's why I was
definitely,
asking you like, what's the time frame? When would you like to do it? Because like you've had 7 fights now as an
Yes,
amateur.
yes.
Like, how many? Are you looking for a specific number? Are you looking for a title? Like, what's that threshold?
It's so funny these
I'm
topics
just
are coming
looking
up
to
as we
fight.
just talked about this.
What'd you say?
Like this morning, remember how I was like, dude, I like people that have 10 to 12, which is a reasonable amount of fights.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah,
think-
yeah.
I think that I do not like people being damaged that much in the amateurs. If we can avoid it, that'd be great. The cowboy days of amateurs, like, I mean, CJ, I love you, but you had a lot of Emmy fights, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude had like 50 Emmy fights
That's
or some
ridiculous.
shit. Like, something like that, bro.
Dude,
something
KJ
crazy.
Jones told me he had like something like 30-something amateur as well. I was like, God damn. Like,
Yeah, right.
You guys are fighting
mean,
for free for way too
Yeah,
long.
I mean, and when I got these guys, it was like, where is their life bar at? What can we do with them? What should we do with them? And how do we proceed? And a lot of that, like the old MCS is a young coach figuring it out, but now it's just like, I'm ready now.
You're more
Now
dialed
I know
in-
everything.
You're
Yeah.
more dialed in with what, longevity?
As far as just knowing what the steps to take to create a healthy fighter that can last through the fight lifetime. So I'll use Wolfman for example. He did MMA. He wasn't so successful. He did boxing. He wasn't so successful. Found bare knuckle is the fucking champ.
Yeah.
Longevity, baby. Next stage. That's his retirement right there. He made more money in one fight than he ever did in his entire,
career.
Yep. So I mean, dude, that's the thing that I think that we look for as coaches is to protect them, but to also have them move up at the correct times. And I made some mistakes in the past not knowing things as a young coach, and there was nobody to be there like, don't do that. There was nobody to be there like, don't let him go pro. There was nobody to fucking tell me. I had to figure this out. And I mean, maybe some of the old guys might resent me a little bit for that, but at the same time, dude, I mean, we're in a place
They
where
can't resent you because
they went along with it, dude. They were going
they
with
were learning
me.
with you. I mean, listen, when I went to the Wolves Den, Mop had just opened up his gym. I can't then go back and be like, oh, you didn't know as much back then as you do now. Like, yeah, dude,
That's
duh.
true, right?
Right.
And
Learning.
it's just like the growth that we've gone under the last year, dude, is amazing. Like, just I feel like skill level, everyone's elevated, attitude level, everyone knows why they're here, knows why they want to be at the gym. People are starting to lure back older characters from the past in there now. And
Do you like that? Do you like seeing some of the
Oh,
people
I
from back
love
in the
it.
day?
I love when I hear older guys or newer guys be like, "Hey, like I've been watching you, and like I'm coming back because I've seen what you're doing, how much fun you're having." And it's like I am having fun when I'm in there. Like the only time I'm not having fun is when
I
I'm
think
not in
a
there.
lot of these guys are watching what's happening and seeing the successfulness of it, and
100%.
seeing like, dude, I mean, it's like,
They want to get back on the bandwagon, so to
Yes.
speak.
yeah, it's because it's like
Not as a
and
fan.
I
Forgive me, I'm
even
talking
like
about the fighters. Like,
you know,
they want to get back on the
I
wagon.
talked to him about it. It's like, dude, like, it's cool for us to reminisce about the past, bro. But like anymore, I can't do that with some people, dude. It's like if we're either talking about the future, or we're not talking. Like end of the day, brother. Like I don't need to remember how funny that was. I don't need to
it's nice
remember
to take a
how
trip
dumb I was
down
at the
memory
time.
lane,
You know,
but
yeah.
without living in the past.
Not every day, right, dude? Come here. Let's talk about your career now, where it's at, and the reality of what we have to do to get back on track.
You know what I never liked? The term glory days, because it always had
It's
like
so dumb, dude. Like,
it has the connotation of like, okay, like you peaked.
you're done. Yeah.
You don't know what the fucking future has. You might have
Right.
glorier days. I don't know. You know what I mean?
100%.
I have some friends where a lot of the conversations, because I'm 32 now, so like
You're still in the younger category.
I'm still in the younger
third,
category, but they'll say some weird shit where they're like, "Man, high school was so cool." I was like, "No, the fuck it wasn't. We couldn't
it was.
drive. I had no money. Like,
Yeah, nothing,
What are you
dude.
talking about?" It's like
No.
rose-tinted glasses, and then usually it's a reflection of the fact that they're not really
Not doing
happy
anything
right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
usually
And then
it.
my thing is, okay, I can see where their energy is spent. Their energy is not spent looking at today to make tomorrow better. Their energy is spent reminiscing about the good times they had in the past. And I think that's a fucking death spiral.
It is, dude. Yeah.
If you're not thinking about tomorrow, if you're not thinking about the next
And
plan,
I think, dude, for
what
like
are we doing?
4 to 5 years, dude, I was like stuck in a loop of that too, of just being like, oh, my gym was so cool, da 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 da. But then I was never thinking about, dude, what do I do after this? I don't know how to do anything else. So then it became me fucking coming to reality, being like, make this work, and I did. So we did, and anyone who joins, it's beautiful to watch, dude. It's cool.
100%.
It's cool. Yeah,
God bless, man.
it's cool.
So we discussed a little bit about your career and things like that, but I do have one question that kind of doesn't really have to do with fighting, and that has to do with everything you do outside of fighting, right? Why are you laughing?
No, because
I don't know, because he just made this weird face, and I was like, shit, am I about to hear some stuff?
But he also knows I don't do nothing outside of
He
fighting.
really doesn't do that much.
That's kind of what I was gonna ask. Is like, so when I was in the thick of it, when I was like really pursuing fighting, it was almost as if there was nothing else. Now, obviously, like I had my career, so like, I was working, but my life consisted of like, okay, I woke up when I was in university, and I was still an amateur fighter. I would wake up and either go to school or go to work, depending on the day, and then afterwards go to the gym and train, and then afterwards go home, shower, eat. That was my day.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat tomorrow.
Yeah.
But that was also when I was like 23, 24, 25. As I got a little older, 28, 29, I had less of that because I didn't have school. So it was just work, then train, but then, time with friends and all this other stuff. My path, the goal started getting diluted. I started getting civilized more than anything, right?
Yeah.
For you, you're 32 years old now, and you say that there's not much that you do outside of fighting. Is that because, and I want to be careful how I ask this question, is that because fighting has been such a positive to you that is exclusively what you want to do, or because the things outside of fighting have been so negative for you, you kind of are like, get that out of my life?
Both. Yeah, a lot of negativity and stuff now. I just stay away from it. Like, if anything, the more I fight and the more popular I get, the more it's getting harder. Like, girls and, like, people wanting to be friends and, like, stuff like
like,
that.
what?
Stuff like that is coming
What are you
around
talking
where it's
about?
like,
I don't know what
when
you're
you
talking
when you first get
Popular, huh?
yeah, when you first get into it, it's easier because it's like no one's like trying to like, oh,
And I'm not gonna
he's just
like
another fighter.
point fingers or anything, but you kind of seem like a person who in high school was like kind of like a floater guy who
Oh, yeah,
had
100%.
just friends in each group, but never really was in one group.
100%.
Like,
yeah.
and it seems to me that now you're in this one group, you're excelling in it, and it's awesome, dude. It's awesome to see you get recognition for you doing something that you love. You know.
What do you think your place in the gym is outside of you as a fighter? Do you think you contribute to like the culture that he's trying
Absolutely.
to create?
This guy is one of the main drivers, dude. Yeah. Like he definitely changed me, dude. Like, when he joined, dude, he's like, because I noticed, like, dude, like everybody's statuses, every gym, he liking it, sharing everything. And I'm like, I'm looking at that and I'm being like, dude, why am I not like that? And it's like, why do I have this, like, combative and almost too competitive nature with this shit?
Scarcity.
I kind of have to, though, as the head coach, but at the same time, like,
I don't know about that, actually, dude.
you really don't have to have that. And I think Rogers is a good example of how not to be that way, but I'm a good example of how to be that way, because I take this shit hella personally, hella seriously. I'm not the guy that's going to be, dust it off my shoulder for the day. I'm going to wear that on my fucking all week. You know what I'm saying? So
I was a fan before anything else, and I'm gonna be a fan, always gonna be a fan, and like I've even when I'm done fighting. I mean, me and Jerry had this talk a lot because like especially because of the way I fight.
I mean,
he's
he's
like,
like,
"What
a
do you?"
fan, dude. I mean, that's awesome.
I have a job. I have a job I could do forever, not forever, but like until I retire.
Yeah.
And then and I've set up a pretty good lifestyle to where like stay healthy, go to the gym, and even if I stop fighting, probably still gonna keep going to the gym just to hang out with this dude.
Right.
Like,
You like the atmosphere, like the culture.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
100%.
That is one thing that I do miss after like retiring from fighting.
Just the camaraderie.
The
man.
camaraderie. I don't hang out with a lot of the guys like I used to, and even when I
Yeah.
do hang out, I feel a little ostracized because I'm not a fighter anymore.
Yep.
So like I'm not in the gym, I'm not in the thick of things. But at the same time, it's like, for me personally, I had fun with it when I did, and I will always be a fan. I love watching fight. You're gonna see me at
You're at every
Shamrock.
fight. You're at every
gonna
fight.
see me at
Yeah,
NFL.
I don't think
You're
I've
gonna see me at stand-up
haven't
fights
seen you
too.
for the last like 3 years not at a fight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
Like, even
Adam
before
Sala's
that.
jiu-jitsu show. Like I really don't
You were there
care.
too, right? You were
Yeah,
there
yeah.
too. You were there
If it's local, I'm gonna support it. I want to be around it. I love watching it. I'll always be a fan, like you said.
Absolutely.
It's funny though how I don't necessarily have a pull to go back to that, and I think it's because I have other things now. If that makes sense.
100%.
Maybe.
I think like I was sitting here and I was thinking, dude, like going back to what we first talked about like how the control of the art and the techniques that like it becomes like the more you can control it, I think the more masterful you are with it. And I think it's just like it goes into what we're talking about now too. Just like the times, I don't know how to put this, dude.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, it feels just like everything, like, where we're at now is like going, it's all connected. It's all connective conductivity.
Well, being okay with it, like if you if you gotta let it go,
Yes.
let it go.
Yes, it's tough.
It's just like if you don't have the competitive edge, then
Well, here's the
leave.
thing.
I mean,
I
and that's
miss-
understandable.
I miss aspects of it. I
Yeah.
miss aspects of it. But now there are different things that I am doing that also give me a lot of, the warm fuzzies and stuff like that.
I don't think anybody
So-
blames you either, dude. I mean, you got a family, wife,
Yeah.
good job.
Well,
I mean, why would you go in there and
Jared,
risk your
wouldn't
body?
I wouldn't give a fuck if people did. I have people like tell me like, I still get some messages like, "Oh, you running because you scared." I'm like,
What?
What?
It's
Oh
like,
my
dude, I've been
God.
retired for like 3 years. What are you talking about?
"Bro,
That is
trust me."
crazy.
That's the one that gets me like, you clearly have not been keeping up with me. Like,
That's crazy. Like,
Right.
like, dude, I haven't fought for some time,
And
brother.
I will say this that irritates me. It's like some guys now are saying my name that like when I was fighting,
Never
wouldn't
did.
whisper it 3 times in a dark room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just fucking irritating slightly now. But when I say irritating, also in a way where I don't care. I really don't give a fuck.
Right.
I used to because I was in it. Now I'm just like I don't care about. I got civilized.
Yeah.
I don't care about being the biggest and the baddest anymore because I knew I wasn't going to do it. So then I separated myself from it, and the longer I separate myself from it, the more I don't want to come back.
I mean, I think there's just like a huge, like,
But I
biggest
love
and baddest
coaching.
thing.
I love fucking coaching.
Yeah.
So I can understand,
Yeah.
like when you were getting a
And
little bit
personally,
emotional
dude,
earlier.
I mean,
love
like,
coaching.
as far as I know from my son's experience and the way you handled everything with him, and then Ivan's experience, and the way you're or I don't even want to say his name. Sorry, buddy. But whatever. You should have went to practice. But
You can't force. Listen, you can't force people anything. They have to come to the conclusion themselves. And that's a good question for you, actually, because you're talking about how you're trying to bring that greatness out of people.
yeah,
But I can't force them
no.
to be great.
It's that old adage, man. It's just like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's totally true. And no matter if it's
so
water,
fucking
if it's
frustrating.
Kool-Aid, if it's soda, if it's anything, dude. I mean, I can suggest something to a lot of people, but that's why I'm not a politician. Because I can suggest all day, but will they do it?
12 years.
Maybe.
12 years of saying hard R. I don't know if you're gonna have a political run.
No, I don't think so, dude. I think they'll dig that up in some
weak.
kind of like hidden camera footage.
So let me ask you guys this kind of like a little bit more broad question, because you're relatively new to the game, especially locally, yet you've had a lot of experience. Where do you guys think combat sports in St. Louis lie right now? You think good spots? Do you
I think it's growing. I mean, freaking, if I'm not main event, I'm co-main. Not just even combat sports, just kickboxing. I feel like me and him together, I mean, not to toot our own horns, but
there
we're
really
growing that
isn't-
shit.
I mean, I think like it was resurging at the time that all of us were just coming back after a crazy pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that those people who did fight during that, thank you for fighting during that time, for keeping it
that
alive.
torch
Keeping
alive,
these
yeah.
fucking venues, dude, because if we had lost the venues, we didn't know where to fight. And
That's actually something that really shocked me
Yeah.
with some of the conversations that I've had, because you'd think like, oh, we can just have fights wherever we want. No,
no,
you can't. No, you
no,
can't.
you can't. They got to be approved for that.
Yeah, certain venues don't work. Certain venues are in conflict with others.
And it could be stupid, like sound or
Yes.
sight, or there's a
Yes.
huge,
or just like parking.
fire,
Yeah,
stuff
dude,
like that.
so
You know,
many
you never
things.
know. Like it's so many details that go into a show.
There's actually very limited places you can do a fight show.
Yeah,
and
not
that
anymore,
makes
right.
financial sense, because you can do a fight show wherever you want, but it's like, how many tickets?
I can tell you
sell?
100%. I did a show at the Chaffetz Arena, and I lost about $30,000 in one night. But then more than that, because I had to pay them back what I owed them too. So
Oh, Jesus.
at the end of the day, I was $40K in debt
We-
to the Chaffetz Arena. At the end of a horrible show, that for some reason me and Kenny Noli decided to have a war on the same night, and we should have just had one combined show.
Yeah.
And that would have solved a lot of problems. And that leads into my how is the state of MMA. It would be better if we could all still just make a little bit more effort to get along at the fighter level, the gym level, and the promoter level, not step on each other's toes, and to just like, we're a community. There's a very small amount of people who do this in each place, but I mean, globally, a lot of people are doing it now.
I think it's
This is like trying to be a rapper in the 90s
Well-
in MMA instead.
it's mentality, and I think so long as you have people with scarcity in their minds and in their hearts, you will always have conflict. I cannot tell anybody how to run their businesses. You know what I mean? And obviously, I think doing a promotion is incredibly difficult. I think owning a gym is incredibly difficult. I think being
Absolutely.
a fighter is incredibly difficult. All these things, none of them are easy. From the cut man to the guy getting into the ring to the guys promoting, all of it is. It's a miracle.
100%.
It's a miracle that these shows even get done, right?
Dude,
And
it's crazy.
I think it's a reflection of like a lot of passion, which is good from everybody. Like amateur fighters, you're not getting paid for this, and then the promoters, how much money are they really making? 5, 10 shows?
Like if you
know?
follow me on
Sometimes less
Facebook,
than that,
Yeah,
dude.
sometimes less than that. They might not even break even.
Nope.
like if you follow me on Facebook, I always thank anyone involved, everyone involved, because like I can't do half your jobs. Like not because I can't, because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like there's so much that goes into this stuff where I'm
Having
like,
a guy like
I'm
this
glad I'm
guy
a fighter.
right now in this stage, dude, of being so curious about the whole game and just loving the game is what I needed to continue my journey, to see that there are people like this that are so fucking good and that pick up the material so well and that want to be better and that he knows what he has to do to get to the next level, dude. I mean, there's people stopping in now who have walked the journey. Maybe they're on a hiatus. Maybe they're doing something else. Maybe they got kids. Maybe they're retired, whatever. But they've been through it. They've got to the big stages. They know how it feels, fucking. And they can give him a little bit more of a piece of that than I could. But I'm here just to just guide him just gradually through these little, twists and turns. And just make sure he just, above all, the vessel is the goal. I want to keep the vessel intact so that when he goes pro, he has longevity on the chin. longevity on the body, and we just overall grow and get better, like technically,
Yes, sir.
Well, gentlemen, lengthy discussion.
Yeah.
I wanted to thank you
It was
both
fun,
for the
dude. Fun,
time.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Before I put an end to this, is there anything that you wanted to say or discuss before we put a cap on this?
Always in mind.
I just want to.
Oh, go ahead.
You go first, dude. Go ahead.
Shout out to Modern Combat Systems. Shout out to everyone, all of us
My coach
that
Jared.
are coming. Let's go, Jared. Let's go, Tiana Whitson. Let's go, X. Let's go, everyone in the camp. That's all I got.
God bless.
So just I don't want to like talk too much about this, but I gotta give a little bit of a shout to the owners of the gym who are now different owners now than when I last said. They do not own it. They actually sold it to a new couple, Shane Mahoney and Madeline Shotton now own it, and they have invested more into it and totally changed it to where now we have like rubber matting everywhere and new weight equipment, cardio equipment. They
put some money.
They allowed us to have
Yes.
some more space, so it's
Yes.
like these people. I've been really, really fortunate to have this run with these people, and just anyone who owns this gym that I've been in through 4 different owners now.
Oh wow.
So obviously, this program that we have there is one of the driving factors why this gym is still here.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're a great team. I think we make because they're just so motivated, and I think he's a competitive powerlifter, and I think he's won some titles with it. And I think he just sees the vision of what we're doing, and we see his vision and their vision, and it's just a good. It's a good place right now.
He
It's a good
definitely sees our
environment.
vision. He's
I might have
always,
him on. I love talking about
yeah,
entrepreneurs.
he's always talking
Yeah,
about.
they'd probably love to come on.
No, they would absolutely love to come on. I told them we were
up.
coming to see you today, and they were like, really,
Really,
make sure you
right?
shout out. And that's why I brung Jared.
So
'cause
Eagle Gym,
he shouted you guys out.
Eagle Gym, Madeline Shotton,
Yes.
Shane Mahoney. Thank you for believing in us and keeping us there. We could not do what we do without you guys, so appreciate it.
God bless.
Yeah,
All right, gentlemen.
right on, man.
Appreciate
Oh,
your
yeah.
voice.
Thank
Thanks,
you
sir.
so much. Thank you.